Welcome back to the channel, folks. So I want to do this video. I want to split this video up into two parts. The first, I want to talk about a couple of things that I saw today that relates to the channel, and the second part, I want to talk about something a little more personal, I guess. Not really personal, but more towards personal feelings, I guess. So if you want to stick around for that part. The first part, I want to talk about this morning. I had a delivery down in Forest Park, Georgia at Kroger Distributing, or the DC, Kroger DC, however you want to call it, down in Forest Park, Georgia. As I was going around 285, I saw this truck go by me, and I'll put a picture up here of the side of the truck. That it threw me off when I saw that, and I've seen this on trucks before, not this particular one, but I've seen this similar type sign on the opposite side of his truck. There was like this warrior guy with a I guess a AK-47 or something. You know, I'm not a big gun nut, but it looked like a machine gun or an AK-47. Is AK-47 a machine gun? I don't think so, but I guess they could be probably manipulated into machine guns. I thought these were the guys that were fighting alongside of the U.S. soldiers over in the Middle East. These were the good guys. And it might be, okay, because I don't know. And that's what confuses me whenever I get on this. I don't know what illegals and immigrants are. And I don't think any of us does, because we can't see what these people are. I mean, I don't know if they're here illegally, if they're here legally, what their intentions are. I don't know. But I think our country is being invaded, and I think there is a lot of illegals in trucking, and I think it's driving the rates down, you know, for everyone else. Donald Trump keeps saying that he's going to have mass deportations. Are they going to stay in trucking? You know, that's what I don't know. That's the confusing part to me, because no one is talking about that. I've listened to Trump. I've listened to Ramaswamy. I don't hear anybody saying anything whatsoever about trucking or illegals in trucking or anything. But getting back to this guy that I saw in Atlanta today, whenever I pulled into the Kroger, he was sitting right beside of me. So we were both headed down 285 to this Kroger. He made it there just a couple of trucks in front of me. There was two lanes going, and they got a little off, and I got right beside of the guy, okay? And I took a picture of the side of his truck, and something told me, it just was like a gut feeling or something. Something told me to run his MC number. If you don't know how to do that, it's very easy. There's a website called SaferWeb. Anyone can access it. It's publicly accessible on the internet. And you just type in a DOT number, and it pulls up all this information. How many crashes they've had, how many fatalities they've had, how many shutdowns they've had, if their DOT number is current or not. I pulled this guy's up that was sitting next to me, and his DOT number was inactive. Inactive. Now, what was weird about that in my mind was a couple of things come to mind. There was this guy I used to work with in Memphis that had a trucking company. He was a single owner operator. He had a company driver, so there was 2 trucks. Then whenever I leased my truck on, he had himself, the owner and the operator. He was independent. He had a company driver, and he had one owner operator, which was me, leased on to him, right? My wife also worked for the guy as dispatch and office work and stuff like this. My wife's probably watching this video and she's like, ding, 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 I know exactly who you're talking about. So anyway, that guy got his DOT number shut down, and I guess he put it in his wife's name or another family member's name, something, and restarted the company under another DOT number. And the company was basically exactly the same structure as it was before, just different name or different DOT number. I think he even kept the same name. I may be wrong about that, but he might have altered the name just a little. This guy that I saw in Atlanta was the same thing. I pulled him up, and I'll put these pictures up here of, he had like a 83% shutdown with 3 trucks, just like the guy in Memphis had 3 trucks. This guy had 3 trucks, 83% shutdown rate. I guess insurance wouldn't do anything with him anymore. I have a strong suspicion that he is just running under an inactive DOT number. I really do. Because brokers don't care. A lot of brokers don't care if you have an active or inactive DOT number. If it means they can pull their freight and they can pull it cheaper with you than anyone else, I don't think they care if you're legal or not. I'm really honest about that. I don't think they care. As long as they get their freight moved, whatever. That's just my honest opinion. But my wife had a different opinion. I talked to her about it and sent her the information and all. And she said it's just like this company in Memphis. They just change names. They change DOT numbers, and they're doing business as something else because another name popped up that was very similar to them. Different town, different address and all. And I'm thinking, why won't the frickin' Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration do their job? I just can't get it. And then I posted the thing on my community tab about that guy that got in a wreck in Colorado, deported 16 times, and ended up having a fatal crash. What? When I got into Kroger and I backed up, I saw a Covenant truck pull up, and I cannot testify under oath, but I would almost bet my last dollar that I've got this guy was from the Middle East. He was very dark skinned, black hair, black beard. And another guy got out of the passenger seat, was training this guy, which I don't have any problem with that. That part of it I don't have any problem with whatsoever. But that just clicked in my head, and I thought I did a video long time ago, several months ago, about Covenant getting fined. Remember that video? I'll try to put a picture up here of it. Covenant got fined because they were doing background checks on their drivers, and the Federal Motor Carrier said, no, you can't do that. Well, I thought they were doing legal stuff because everybody checks your background when you go to work for a trucking company. Even me, which I ain't saying I'm unique, but even I was tested and checked out and had to do a drug test and, went through all this process. why is Covenant being fined for doing it? And then I saw this guy that looked Middle Eastern in the truck. Totally different thing than the first truck that I saw in the line. But it just was such a coincidence. I went ding, 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 ding. I bet this guy's illegal. Now, I can't, like I said, I can't testify to it, but I almost bet that guy is illegal. And then I just started looking on my phone and Googling stuff and everything. I come up with a thing that Covenant just got an exemption from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration of having trainers be in the sleeper while the trainee is driving so they can team drive. Now, if this guy or girl, whoever it is, if the trainer believes that they're good enough to drive on their own, and I don't have any problem with that. What I have a problem with is throwing a guy in the seat straight off of the bat and getting out here and busting out 5,000 miles a week, and using that guy as, a team driver fresh out of school. I mean, really, you can't do that, folks. I mean, this guy might have come from, like a retail store where he was working part-time, 5 hours a day and sleeping all day. You don't know where he came from, his background, or her, either one. And to just get thrown in a truck and run 14-hour shifts, 10-hour shifts and switch places and run again. And I mean, team driving would wear me out, and I've been out here 25 years. I couldn't imagine being a young person just getting it, or even a greenhorn, as they call them, just getting thrown in the seat and said, here, bust out 600 miles and stop and we'll switch seats. I couldn't imagine that. And they were granted that. So what I got to thinking, and this is a lot of assuming, I'll be honest with you, it's a lot of assuming, but what if that wasn't a fine that Covenant paid? What if that was, a bribe? Now, I'm not accusing. I'm just saying a what if here. What if they covering it up and say, oh, well, you can ding us, for checking backgrounds of drivers and everything and make it, look kind of good, but here's some money, and we'll slip you some money and, pass this exemption for us where we can team drive with new drivers. Sounds plausible, doesn't it? Sounds like something our corrupt government would go for. Huh. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But it sounds weird. It sounds like the earmarks of either a conspiracy theory, or it sounds like the earmarks of corruption. And either way, our government's guilty of corruption and conspiracy. So there you go. There's a lot of things I don't trust in our government. But anyway, wow. I know that's a lot of assuming and stretching it out, really far for me. But hey, how is this guy running with an inactive DOT number? After he's got an 83% shutdown rate on their company and they come through with an inactive DOT number, do they just flag them on by? Do they give them another shutdown? I mean, how does that work? And this guy getting deported 16 times and then he ends up killing somebody. And I'm like, what is trucking coming to? I mean, is the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration even doing their job at all? You know, are they even doing it at all? But anyway, that's the first half of the video. The other half, I wanted to talk about something, and I touched on it in my last video, and I know it sounded depressing and everything. I'm not depressed. I just want everyone to know that I am not depressed. I am not having any kind of mental breakdown or anything. It's just I wanted to explain this and just finally get it out. What has really been bothering me is we had to sell our other house after living in it 15 years. Right after we sold the house, we moved into our house. We've had nothing but good out of this house. It was such a great thing. But the economy is just really bearing down, and it's for everybody. It's not just for me. You know, it's for everybody. And, you know, it's just the thing that it just seems like doom and gloom with everybody right now. And that's just pulling me down after, you know, having to sell the house. And then, you know, my dog died after being with me for 15 years. And that really bugs me. The other day I went to get in my truck, and as a reaction, I just put my hand up and I said, no, wait. I'll get you out in a minute. I have been doing that for 15 years. And I just knew that dog. I knew what he was about and everything. I knew that he was ready to get out and go pee. And he wasn't even there. You know, he's already passed away. So that's kind of been bugging me, you know, a little bit, of getting out of the habit of having, you know, not someone, but something, a dog, with me for 15 years and then adjusting to not having him. You know, that's a hard thing to get used to. And I'm not depressed over it. I knew that he was going to pass away. So, you know, that's not, but even though you try to get used to it, you can't. And the other thing I guess that's bothering me, I found this guy on YouTube. Let me see if I can pull up his deal here real quick. I think I took some screenshots of it. His channel name, he's a trucking channel on YouTube, and I'll put it up here. It's called the Living Freed channel. I don't know this guy, never met him, never talked to him, don't know anything about him whatsoever, but he's a really good guy, and he's giving out really good advice on his channel. He's a young guy, he's really upbeat, he's energetic, you know, and he's wanting to help truck drivers, and, you know, talking about money and finance and don't be a slave to debt and all this stuff. You know, really, really good guy. And then, as always, I have to dig in and get a little deeper into stuff. I subscribe to his channel, and even though this guy is so positive, he's such a positive thinking truck driver, which is odd, but his two most popular videos, I'm just going to put them up here, his two most popular videos, one, 91,000 views. Trucking is a waste of time, a waste of life. The second most popular video is the trucking industry is collapsing, in capital letters, 62,000 views. That shows you what truck drivers want to see. That's what other people want to see. They want to see mass destruction and corruption, and, you know, we used to call it back in the day, a long time ago, when we used to talk on the CBs. There's a fly or something flying around in here, a moth or something. That's what you see flying around. I don't see it, but I see it on the camera. But we used to call it what did we call it? hate and discontent. Everybody was on the radio talking all this garbage and everything, and all your drivers are just full of hate and discontent. You know, I guess they still are. I mean, I guess after all these years, which I don't run a CB anymore, there's nothing on it but static. You don't ever hear anyone talk on it. So I pulled my CB out a long time ago. But I don't know if they still say that on the CB, but it's still a thing. And, you know, as hard as I tried, that's what has really got me bringing down on this channel in the last few videos, why I've sounded like that and depressed and everything, is I was trying to muster up the strength to be like that, hate and discontent and angry and just vicious. And it's not me. You know, after a long day of driving and dealing with like Atlanta traffic and busting out 600 miles, the last thing I want to do is get on a video. I mean, it's what, 10:30 at night, I think. I got parked here and I'm doing a video. The last thing I want to do is get on here and spew out venom. I mean, I don't want to be like that. I mean, I really don't. And if that ends up, you know, that's what I think is weird about it, is because people said a long time ago in my videos, whenever I was getting started and stuff, if I talked about religion or whatever, it would divide and separate and cause issues and everything. And I guess I misquoted the person, and I said they told me that it would destroy the channel, right? I guess that's what I heard. I didn't hear that it would separate and divide people or whatnot. But so what? You know, I like these positive vibes. I like this guy's channel. You know, this Freed. What was his name? The Living Freed. I like his channel. I mean, it's upbeat. He's giving good advice. Yeah, the Living Freed channel. I like his advice. And he's a young guy, but he sounds like he's got his head on straight. You know, and he's talking about investing in stocks. He was talking about ETFs. If you don't know what that is, that's like, instead of buying like individual stocks like Ford or GM or Citibank, you know, instead of buying an individual stock, you buy into a lump, you know, of like a lot of different companies. They just bundle all these companies up together, and whenever you buy like one stock, they split it up, you know, your money up into, you know, segments of stocks. And it's a good idea. It's not a high return on your investment, because those types tend to, you know, slowly go up. They do go up over time, but it's real slow. You know, you're talking maybe $5 in 6 months or something. You know, depending on how many shares you got, that's how much money you would make divisionally across a bunch of stocks. But I mean, if you were going to invest like $100,000, that would be a great thing to invest in, because it would be, you know, a really slow, steady growth on your money. Now, how much this guy's investing, I don't know. I mean, I have no clue. But I'm sure he is making some money with it. And it's the fact of he's giving this information out. You know, this is what you can do to help yourself. And I mean, I just think, not to get on my soapbox and preach about this, but I think if we could turn this negativity around and put positive influence into trucking, and we could all get somewhat on the same page, you know, think of what we could accomplish with positive vibes instead of negative vibes. And that's where I don't know how I'm going to have to do this, but I'm going to have to keep doing these videos because I like doing them. I do. And all of this negativity that I see out there in the comments and all these negative truck drivers. And I mean, if I could create a trucking channel where it was nothing but just pissing and moaning and griping and just hate and discontent, I could start that. The Hate and Discontent Trucking Channel. I could. And it would be nothing but just bashing people and running stuff down. And I hate all truck drivers, not just one. I hate them all. And just start going after them and bashing everybody, you know. I bet that would be a successful channel. So if you want a heads up on a successful channel, there you go. I just gave you the name and I gave you the whole description and everything. Go make it. The Hate and Discontent Trucking Channel. And there you go. You'd probably be, you know, busting out 300,000 views every single episode if you're good at it. I just can't. I can't be that way. I mean, I get down and I it's not really that I get depressed. It's just I get down. It's just like pulling me down. It just feels like I've got a rope attached to my feet and I'm just getting pulled down. And as hard as I try to pull up, everyone, you know, in these negative comments is just pulling me down. And I'm just like, I don't want to delete anybody's comments. I don't want to delete anybody's, you know, everybody has a freedom of choice. Everybody has a freedom of speech, rather. I mean, you can say whatever you want to say, but I don't want this to turn into the Hate and Discontent channel. Nope. No, that's not going to be me. But I know that's what people like. People like that, you know, car chases and crashes and destruction and bringing everything down. People like that. You know, I watched some of it myself, you know, but overall, I don't really want to see the whole world go down into the tubes like that. And there is a video that I'm going to start working on about our nation's debt and how big of a impact that's going to have on everybody, including trucking. You know, it's going to have a bad, serious effect. So maybe you can see that one as negative. Maybe you can get some hope on that you'll see your negative video on that. That's a serious issue, folks. That's going to bury the United States. You know, that's going to be the ultimate destruction of the United States right there, is that we are so far in debt and so far down that I don't see how we're going to pull ourselves back out of it. And there's just so much corruption in the government and all. I just think, I just have this thing inside of me, if we could turn all this negativity around into positive vibes and enforcement, we could change everything. But how do you get people on board with it? Because all they want is all the negativity. I don't know. Somebody help me out with the comments. Help me to change it to where the, you know, the positive is going to outweigh the negative, because I need that type of reinforcement right now. I mean, I really do. And I'm not depressed about it. It's just, I need some type of assurance, I guess, that there's just more people out here that's wanting positive than there are that's wanting the negative. I mean, I really need to hear that, because it really weighs me down. And anyway, hopefully it'll get better. You know, we're going to start getting back into trucking and politics and actually start doing trucking and politics videos again. I just wanted to finally get all this stuff out of my system and be done with it. And then we're going to move on. The next video will be trucking and politics related. And from now on out, I'm just going to start pumping out trucking and politics videos and doing my thing. And if all the haters want to just blow up in the comments, I'm just going to say, have at it. Have at it, people. Just go down there and piss and moan and have your hate and discontent, because I'm just going to keep marching forward. Anyway, thanks for watching, and you guys have a great day.